When I came back here after many years, it looked like it had been plucked clean. That it was naked and that it had been stripped. Someone had come in there and taken out so many, all the tiles were gone, the altar was gone, the pulpit was gone. All those Tiffany stained glass windows, which were worth millions of dollars, were gone. I wonder if there's been any transparency yet as to how much money the guys at the Newark got from those windows and from the other things that they took out of that magnificent church. And it was a pillar in that community, and it cared about the community. And there are still people. I was talking to a woman today who has something to do. You know, the city is just magnificent. I never knew that Jersey City could be so magnificent and so beautiful. Coming back here after so many years, and I was talking to a woman today who has much to do with the development of the apartments up at the old Jersey City Medical Center. As you know, St. John's was not far from the medical center. And she said, you know, just at one time that when she was, they were at the entrance of the church, and people were walking up the steps, a poor man suddenly appeared. We were a poor church, but we were a caring church. And we weren't afraid to go out in the street and fight for those things which were good. But let me say that the African American community breathed new life and spirit into that church. I grew up in a poor neighborhood, you know. I had to be careful where I grew up in, you know, because they were, you know, you didn't mess around with going in the backyards of Italians' grapes, because that was off limits, you know. Then we had lots of people who had great grapes and wineries, and we played kick the can and all those games that some of you are too young, I guess, to know those games, but maybe you even know some of them. As a matter of fact, somebody on your board has a name of some family that lived on that same block, Spinello, and there was a priest, and I know him, and I grew up with him, right? And he knew my grandmother, you know. And I remember doing a debate with the police commissioner on Channel 13. We were being made up over at the theater in Newark, and it was about the fact that I said that well, we had a big numbers racket going on in the city, and I wasn't sure. I got to be careful. I got to get back out of here. I've been arrested. I've been arrested here a couple of times, as you may know, you know. But and I'm sitting there, and the commissioner of police is sitting next to me, good Irishman, and it had to do with numbers and organized crime of sorts or whatever. I had made some rash statements. Anyway, we were being made up, and all of a sudden the commissioner turned to me and he said, "Are you Frida's boy?" Well, you know, Jersey City, everybody knows everybody else. Yeah, I was Frida's boy. The commissioner knew my mother, and he said, "What the hell's the matter with you? Don't you know better? You're from Jersey City. I know your family. I know your grandmother and your grandfather. I know their store on Mallory Avenue. Why are you acting like this?" Anyway, I calmed down. He didn't, but I knew where I was outnumbered. And then we talked just for a minute in terms of when we were on television, and he said, "I don't know why this young man is talking about us having numbers and organized crime here in the city." He said, "Does everybody know that we make more arrests on numbers than all the other cities in the entire state of New Jersey?" Well, he was a good man, and he proved the point. But I tell you, there isn't a better city than this city. And the reason I believe this too, I believe the reason I was able to speak up, and the reason that I got into trouble here in the city on numerous occasions, and been arrested down at the great city hall on numerous occasions, years and years ago, well, 40 years ago, is that I was a child of Jersey City. I used to ride around with police at night in their cars to try to understand, you know, the predicaments that they were in, and to work for them to get a salary increase in those days. This is a good, look what you've done, and look at the multiplicity of ethnic people who are here. You have a facility there that can be developed into something that's magnificent and grand. Breathe some spirit back into those walls, those stones. The windows may be gone, but that's okay. There are people still up there in that neighborhood. It could be an anchor to a lot of what's going on up in that part of the city. And maybe the diocese... diocese would just find it in their hearts to turn it over to the people who want to do something with it. There are people here tonight who know what the Roman Catholic Church did in Newark to a church that was being abandoned, and the marvelous work they did in that. There are people here who are prepared to make those kind of commitments and put those kind of facilities back into that church. I know it's so far down. You know, not only did I feel that the church was like a chicken being stripped and naked, and the embarrassment of, you know, what it is when you're naked. You know, and I felt that to the church. And the other thing that I felt too so deeply was that I was the last captain there. I was the last rector at that church, even after all these years. I was the last one. I had come there, they thought I was some hope for them there. As a young man, coming back to that church in my hometown. And as I saw this, I almost sensed that this was like the Queen Mary. It was going down. If you go up there, you see that it's going down, sinking, and getting lower and lower. And there are people here, perhaps even here tonight, who want to put it all the way down. And I felt that I owed it to that church. You know, church has a spirit. Our homes have spirits. You know, who we are as persons are real. And all of the prayers and the joy and the sorrow and the walls of those churches, they were going down. And I was the last captain of that ship. And I felt I had to come back here tonight, because if it goes down, if the diocese of Europe has to take it down, or whoever's going to take it down, I'll go down with the ship. And I'm honored that you let me come before. You've been very kind, President. Mrs. Canello, you have a great family. Power to the people.